sunrise, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Monday morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore. Tuesday morning. It's Monday for me because I was off yesterday.
Well, welcome back, Gary. And this morning we've got some snow to track. Some of the roadways may be a little bit dicey this morning based off the overnight snow, but we have at least another brief round on the way. Let's take a look at the radar right now. As you see right here, we've got a band of some heavier snow showers, otherwise known as a snow squall. And although the winds might not be strong in the initial part of this band, it certainly is in the backside of it. So if you are in this zone right here, this dark blue zone, this is including areas through Western and Rome, heading toward Remsen, Trenton, and Marcy, heading farther south, heading toward Paris and Waterville, currently in Morrisville right now, and it's about maybe 15 minutes of heavy snow. And if you look behind it, we of course can see a couple of things taking place. For one, we've got some lake effects starting to form here off of Lake Ontario, but two, the winds are picking up big time behind this front here. 26-mile-per-hour sustained wind in Syracuse, 16 in Rochester, 32 in Watertown. Now, to be fair, Watertown is right off the shores of Ontario, so it will be seeing some higher winds. But nonetheless, with that in mind, the wind chills are dropping quickly. We're going to go to a wind chill of 9 in Syracuse, 4 Rochester, 2 in Buffalo compared to the teens right now. So we're going to see that big drop in that feels like temperature shortly. Today, it's a blustery one. However, it's mostly dry for the Mohawk Valley. It's a different story for those of you north. That will start to see that lake effect in the early afternoon. That lake effect band is going to sweep south this evening, overnight, and into early tomorrow, setting the stage for some accumulating snow in the Mohawk Valley as we head into the morning hours tomorrow. We're going to track the amount of snow we could see from that, the timing, impacts on roads, and everything else you need to know for that forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A 2.5-hour standoff ends peacefully in...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now just turning 5:11 on this Tuesday, and we begin with a look at your forecast in a minute. And we are tracking a snow squall early today as you're heading out the door this morning. Watch out for a sudden round of heavy snow and reduced visibility. And I'm on standby right now because this is almost passing into Utica right now, and I'm just looking at our cameras seeing when this is going to be moving in because again it is on our doorstep in the city, as well as of course currently falling in Marcy, Kirkland, now in Paris, pretty much along the Route 12B corridor. And you got some heavy snow up in Old Forge as well, where that squall line is up to the north. You got some snow showers now in Morrisville, Westmoreland, but you see here how isolated that snow is as you head out to the east. Things are a lot quieter. Here's a live view right now. I think I'm seeing the snow work its way, and you see some of these clouds right here. I was eagerly anticipating seeing this snow begin to arrive right when I set to the camera, and sure enough, I think it is right outside of the city limits right now. Either way, temperature 27, feels like 13. Once that squall line passes, those winds are going to be even stronger, and those wind chills are going to plummet even more. And you see right here, in some spots, compared to 24 hours ago, Buffalo has dropped 41 degrees. I mean, it's 18, dropping even more in the Utica-Rome area. 20 below in Syracuse, and then finally 35 degrees lower than 24 hours ago in Rochester. Quite a difference, Gary.
We're going to catch up to them soon, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, thanks. The city of Utica has been named the new
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking a snow squall passing through parts of central New York right now. In the meantime, we can kind of see the idea of how strong this front is. We look at the radar and satellite here, and of course, This produced widespread snow overnight, and there's that snow squall arriving right now, passing through sections of the Mohawk Valley, central New York area. To give you an idea of how strong this front is, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This front goes from Canada to Guatemala. That's how far south this cold front is reached. If you're wondering just how strong of a system this is, maybe that paints a picture for you. It's pretty much engulfing all of Florida, which usually sees maybe a smidge of some of these fronts. But nonetheless, the heavy snow has rolled its way into Utica right now. The road's already starting to see snow stick to it due to that snowfall rate. Now, it's not going to last long. We take a look right now at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. It's going to end in the matter of, say, 10, 15 minutes maximum. But within that time frame, we could see reduced visibility, some snow on the roadways. You see right here, Route 12 and 28 intersection in Barneveld. That's where you really see that that snow starting to accumulate right there. Then, of course, it's still looking pretty quiet in Herkimer, but we'll wait for that front to roll through in a matter of maybe a half hour or so. The thruway, we got to see some snow on it in Verona. It has since cleared, but generally speaking, as you head farther east, once this front passes, the roads will continue to improve. So the bigger picture shows lake effects starting to form in the Adirondacks at Tug Hill Plateau this afternoon. As we head into the evening and overnight, that snow band is going to sweep its way south and then eventually into the Mohawk Valley overnight into early tomorrow morning. It fizzles out by the mid-morning tomorrow, so this is not going to be a long-lasting event. Plus, we have some more snow chances here and there throughout the week. When it comes to lake effect, of course, that's always a main priority, just of how strong some of it can be at times. But we look right here at the Skycast. We see that snow band starting to sweep its way south in the evening hours, eventually overnight. We have that snow in the Rome area just north of the New York State Thruway. And then as we head into the early morning hours Wednesday, you might see some tricky travel along the New York State Thruway there. Then eventually that snow will fizzle out, and we've got mostly cloudy skies Wednesday, warming up a little bit more compared to today. But when it comes to snowfall amounts, I haven't really changed much here. There's a very narrow corridor where there'll likely be 7 inches or more of snow in that red zone. Now, this might fluctuate a little bit north or south. I'm hesitant to bring it more inland, although that might eventually be the case here. Either way, incredibly high contrast with that snowfall rate as we look ahead to tomorrow. So your 7-day forecast, we've got a slight warm-up as we head towards spring. We're pushing near 40 by Thursday and Friday, and eventually the weekend still hovering in the upper 30s, low 40s. We're in that limbo period of winter and spring, kind of in that mix of rain, snow, everything but the kitchen sink pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
snowy St. Patrick's Day for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, thanks. 153 people on board a Princess cruise ship began, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you put those winter boots away, get them back out this morning. Eric, an inch or two of snow overnight is making things interesting this morning.
Yeah, on some of the roadways, especially in those higher elevations, and on top of that, a snow squall currently pushing through central New York right now. Let's take a look at the radar here. This is just past Utica. As of right now, I can look off the corner of my eye here, and I can see that the snow has now ended in the Utica area and is now extending into the Herkimer, Frankfort, Ilion, Mohawk, eventually Little Falls area in the Mohawk Valley, and of course, right along the border of Oneida and that very unique corner there of Otsego County and southern Herkimer County. Nonetheless, snowfall in northern Herkimer County. We zoom in a little bit in central Herkimer County near Fairfield. Poland just passed through, and then a Schuyler heading farther south. Litchfield, Waterville, Hamilton, Earlville, all seeing that snow right now, and it's now extending toward Plainfield, Richfield, and Columbia. We zoom out a little bit, we can see the overall frontal boundary right here as it passes its way eastward. We're going to see some big changes. For one, the wind's already starting to pick up right now, 22 miles per hour at Griffiths. We got 16 miles per hour in Rochester, but 23 Buffalo, 25 in Watertown. much more significant winds in the backside of the system, and more importantly, the colder temperatures adding on top of that. The wind chills are plummeting on the backside of this frontal boundary here today, and it's already -2 over in Buffalo. So you can see right here the big difference we'll be seeing throughout the morning hours today. So on paper, we'll be in the 20s. Obviously, wind chill is much cooler today. It's going to be dry for the late morning and early afternoon, but blustery. This evening, we're going to see some snowfall return, mainly north of the New York State Thruway. That'll eventually sweep its way south into the Mohawk Valley overnight tonight into early tomorrow. So plan for some impactful weather, especially the farther, or at least the closer you are to Oneida Lake by tomorrow morning. We'll be tracking that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Despite President Trump's demands that
News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day today, everybody. And, well, it might not quite feel like St. Patrick's Day. Here's a look at the radar. We have some snow, a snow squall passing through the Mohawk Valley right now. So just watch out for a sudden band of reduced visibility and some quick accumulation as it continues its way eastward. Following that, snowfall is rather quiet until the afternoon when it sets up north before sweeping south as we head into the evening. So while we did see some opportunities for sunshine over the last few days, they were quite hit or miss. This is a shot here that someone submitted to us, and when I looked at it, I didn't quite notice what they were talking about until they mentioned that there was a view of someone napping on a cloud. See if you spot it there on that cloud. This is sent in by Heather. An amazing shot right here of, again, what appears to be someone napping on the cloud there. And what a gorgeous shot. If you have a photo like this you'd like to send to us, WKTV.com/weather/pics, a place to go. That photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
according to the Department of Homeland Security, there were more.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Today we're tracking a cold front rolling its way through central New York, and this is the final stretch of this system as the backside influence will produce lake effect later this evening. Here's a look at the radar and satellite. We have a snow squall passing through the Mohawk Valley right now. But before we get into the details of what's happening locally, I want to just zoom out quick and show you guys just how strong this front is. This front extends from Canada all the way down to Guatemala in southern Mexico into even Central America. That tells you just how widespread this influence is and why this front was so strong. Now, thankfully, yesterday, I mentioned we have severe weather risk, and it didn't happen. The big reason was the lack of instability. We had all the shear. If any storm formed, it would have had a very easy ability to rotate, but thankfully none formed in the first place. So I'm more than happy to be wrong if it means making sure that we don't see severe weather like that, because we were basically walking a tightrope yesterday. Still, though, today a much different scene. We're no longer seeing warmth and rain. We're seeing some snow showers. That snow squall passed through Utica moments ago. It already passed through Herkimer. You can see there the fresh snowfall on the roads of Route 5 and the Caroline Road intersection there. And you see it's still continuing its way eastward into the Mohawk Valley and now into the capital region over the next few hours. So we're going to see lake effect begin to form in the Adirondacks and the Tug Hill Plateau. It's going to sweep its way south this evening and tonight. And following that, we're going to be seeing some warming temperatures. That cold air isn't going to last too long. We're in that time of year, we get cold blasts, and they're not sustained like they would be in February or January. So we look here on the SkyCast. Today, we're going to see that lake effect form north. It's going to be fizzling out a little bit as we head into the afternoon, but then it'll return again as we head into the evening and overnight, initially north of the New York State Thruway by 10 to 11 o'clock, and then pushing into the Thruway corridor overnight into early Wednesday morning. So just watch out for some tricky travel in the Mohawk Valley for your morning commute tomorrow. Then once that snow will exit, things will quiet down for much of Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 30s before we see some more snow chances arrive as we head into Thursday night, into Friday, or Thursday afternoon, I should say, into Thursday evening with the arrival of a few snow showers, maybe some rain in the Mohawk Valley. Something else to track later on this week, which we'll get to in a little bit. Still, though, when it comes to snowfall today, you see here 3 to 7 inches in the dark blue zones. There's a very narrow corridor of snow we're closely tracking, so just watch out for any higher accumulations. It's still very difficult to pinpoint that area, but nonetheless, we remain in the 40s heading into springtime.
Tax season is here, and it's time to rev up your refunds.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And it's definitely not a green St. Patrick's Day today.
Oh, yeah. How about we have a white St. Patrick's Day. We've got some fresh snow on the ground, even on some of the roadways this morning. So maybe we want to budge some extra time, especially in those hilltop areas. Let's take a look at the radar right now and see where that snow is heading at this hour. And, well, mainly it's pushing through the Mohawk Valley, closer to the capital region. And except for the exception of the southern valleys, which, due to the shape of this front here, you guys are going to be seeing that front shortly. So there's a band of some heavy snow inside those dark blue zones that lasts maybe 10, 15 minutes, enough to coat some surfaces briefly, and the impact's already getting less and less noticeable in the Utica area when it passed through about an hour or so ago. We zoom out a little bit, though, we can see this is the change we'll be seeing today. A strong westerly wind in the backside of this front, and with that westerly wind pushing 20, 30 miles an hour in some spots here. I mean, the big story is probably 18 to 25 miles an hour. Those are the sustained winds we'll be seeing today. Those wind chills are continuing to plummet. This morning, we're still hovering in the teens, but it's going to be changing as we progress throughout the next few hours. 7 in Syracuse. It was 0 moments ago in Syracuse. Still 0 in Rochester and in Buffalo, and 4 in Watertown. So that's the general idea of the weather today. Blustery, cold. Yes, we might even see some sunshine here and there, but following this dry late morning and early afternoon, we're going to see snow develop north, and it's going to stay north until the evening hours today before that snow band slowly sweeps south into, or at least north of the New York State Thruway tonight, and then into the Thruway corridor tomorrow morning. So plan accordingly for travel, as it could be a bit snowy in some parts of central New York by the Wednesday morning hours. Gary?
Eric, thanks. At this hour, officials in Cuba are reporting an island-wide blackout in the country of some 11 million people. This happened overnight as the country sees its energy and economic crisis deepen. The Ministry of Energy and Mines notes a complete...
You need to know. Will they need a jacket? An umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Time now is 6:10. Here's a look at what you can expect in your forecast in a minute, getting you set for your St. Patrick's Day. And unlike other years, it might not feel quite like St. Patty's Day. It might not feel even like spring at all. It's going to be quite the opposite. It's going to feel like the brunt of winter time today. Old man winter doesn't want to let go today. We have a round of some snow showers, a snow squall now right along the Madison-Otsego County line. This will be heading toward Cooperstown within the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, eventually toward Oneonta in that same time frame. Currently in Little Falls now, in fact, exiting Little Falls right now toward St. Johnsville. So when it comes to snowfall, you see, of course, Whiteface picking up on that snow, heading toward Oppenheim, Springfield a little bit, but again, a little bit less as you head out toward the west where that snow has since passed. Downtown Utica, already clearing up compared to that snow that we saw an hour ago. Current temperature 26 degrees at Griffiths. with frigid wind chills. Feels like 14 out with that westerly wind of 15 miles an hour. That temperature change, look at the difference here. If there's a picture to explain New York State, what it's like to live in New York State, I think this is it right here. I mean, Buffalo just dropped 42 degrees in the last 24 hours, and already starting to see those differences here locally. So, again, today it's going to be pretty quiet following that early morning snow squall. This afternoon, though, we got some snow in the northern areas. That's going to sweep its way south as we head throughout the overnight. We'll be tracking that shortly. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The city of Utica has been named the newest.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this St. Patrick's Day, we are tracking some cold weather this morning and for pretty much all day long. Cold and blustery on your day today. Here's a look at the radar and satellite, recapping a very powerful system slamming the East Coast, bringing us widespread snow overnight and then a brief snow squall this morning before winds are going to be picking up. And to put in perspective how strong this front is, look how far this front is extending from Canada all the way down to Guatemala and even into sections of Central America. So this is a very powerful front, which is why there were so many concerns yesterday, both along the Atlantic coast as well as, here locally. And just for full transparency, yesterday, obviously, we didn't see any severe weather, and we can be thankful for that. That was our one thing, the one outlier in the 4 ingredients I mentioned yesterday we were lacking was that instability. And it didn't warm up enough, we could have sunshine, so the storms never formed. If they formed, it could have been dangerous. But listen, I'd rather be wrong than have to worry about severe weather, especially when that sort with a shear that high. So you can blame me all you want, guys. So either way, we've got some snow showers moving through the area, enough to coat some roadways. As you look at Barneveld, Route 12 and Route 28 up here. The snow just passed through Herkimer. You can see that fresh snowfall. So again, just plan your travel accordingly today. Budget some extra time getting where you need to go, especially for those of you in the southern valleys where that snow is still approaching your areas. Already hitting the Otsego County line right now, extending into central Otsego County in the next hour or so. And so we look at the bigger picture here. We see that lake effect moving through the area as we head into the early part of this afternoon. It's mainly north, however, in the Tug Hill Plateau, Adirondacks. It's trying to form. It strengthens and then moves its way south overnight tonight, north of the New York State Thruway, and eventually into the Thruway corridor by early tomorrow. Now, it will fizzle out quickly, but in the meantime, there could be some accumulating snow. So, timing it out here, you see we have some sunshine opportunities, blustery, cold day today. Grab those extra layers if you can. It's going to be very cold. Wind chills in the single digits. We have that snow band to the north. It's going to fade out a little bit and then return again this evening north the Thruway and eventually into the corridor overnight. So a bit of a snowy start to your morning tomorrow. Now, the data shows some very narrow bands here producing 7 or more inches. And we have Utica and Rome in the 3 to 7 inch range, but there's a very narrow window here we're watching that will be 7 inches or more. So we haven't extended through Camden, but it could move its way farther east. So we'll play it by ear as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. But for now, just expect the possibility of tricky travel for your Wednesday morning. We warm up Thursday and Friday. We enter springtime finally in the 40s, but still we're going to be dodging some 30s and 40s. So we're in that limbo period of wintry weather.
Yeah,
so.
This winter is one to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, thanks. Team USA capping the Paralympics for this half hour. Well, again, if you put those winter boots away, Eric, you might want to get them back out this morning. About an inch or two, I felt fell overnight as I was coming in.
Yeah, inch or two across much of central New York, and we had a snow squall roll through about a short time ago, Gary. And here's a look at where that snow squall is at right now. So, following this band, which is now pushing into Cooperstown in the next few minutes, we'll try to get a live view of Cooperstown once this band finally reaches it. But nonetheless, once that exits, things are going to start quieting down here locally. Might even see some sunshine peeking out. Overall, not too bad of a day impact-wise, aside from the fact it's going to be very windy and very cold. Let's first start talking about that wind speed, and it's picking up right now. It's 30 miles per hour in Watertown, 17 miles per hour Syracuse, 22 miles per hour in Rochester, and those winds continue to increase, and those temperatures continue to fall. Right now, it's 14 in Rome. It is 4 in Watertown, 8 in Syracuse, and 0 in Rochester. So today, it's a blustery, cold day today, and on top of that, while much of the morning is rather quiet, this afternoon we're going to see some lake effect snow develop mainly north of the Mohawk Valley, Tug Hill Plateau, western Adirondacks. But as we head into the evening, that snow band is going to sweep its way south, north of the Thruway, and eventually in the Thruway corridor overnight tonight. So just be prepared for the possibility of some impactful snow overnight and early tomorrow. We'll be breaking that down and showing you the latest maps coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Despite President
Omni, we've got your back.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this St. Patrick's Day. Today we begin with a look at the radar where we have a snow squall passing through sections of central New York, now entering the southern valleys. A pretty decent squall, by the way, now in the Cooperstown area and slowly approaching the southeastern corridor along I-88. So just watch out for some tricky travel along that line there. And following that, well, lake effect is our next story, and that starts out north, outside of central New York, sweeping south this evening and tonight. In the meantime, though, let's share our photo of the day today. And this brings us to a beautiful scene here sent in to us by Heather of what appears to be someone napping on the cloud. And take a good look at the screen here. You can probably notice the arm and the face looks to be somewhat face down. Let me know if you see that there. But either way, if you have a photo like this, a beautiful shot of a cloud right here, or anything weather-related, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Go there, submit your own photo, and you can see the thousands of other great submissions here all across central New York. That photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Eric, thanks. According to the Department of Homeland Security, there were 111.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning on this St. Patrick's Day. Today we are tracking blustery cold conditions with a round of snow passing through sections of central New York. Let's look at the radar and satellite right now. First, I want to recap just how strong this system is. You see that widespread snow exiting and that snow squall passing through central New York right here. I want to zoom out a little bit because not only is this front strong for the East Coast, it is going as far south as Guatemala. That's the extent of this cold front. So if you're ever wondering just how strong this was, well, that's the answer right here. Now, keep in mind, yesterday, we were walking a very fine line for severe weather potential, and thankfully, we didn't see any. And yes, we did see some heavy rain, some changes in wind direction, changes in wind speed, but thankfully it was not the case for severe weather. And I'll take responsibility for it. I'd rather let you guys know of severe weather due to the fact that we had such incredible amounts of shear. The instability, which I mentioned be a factor, was lacking. So on a day like yesterday, you can have all the ingredients, you miss one, and severe weather non-existent. Either way, today is a different story. We're no longer tracking rain and severe weather. We got some snow showers and some colder weather to deal with. Now, some roadways might be a little snow covered here and there. Just watch out, plan some extra time getting to where you need to go today. But following that, road conditions will continue to improve in the Mohawk Valley as we head into the next few hours as that snow squall exits central New York. Now, following this morning, we're now going to see the arrival of lake effect off of Lake Ontario. It'll start out in the Tug Hill Plateau in the western Adirondacks before sweeping its way south into the Mohawk Valley tonight and into early tomorrow. It's not going to last a while tomorrow morning, but at least for the morning commute, there might be some tricky travel situations, especially as you head farther north and west toward the Great Lakes. So we'll piece it together here in our Skycast. Northern Oneida County by noontime, so just watch out for some snow showers north of Rome today. Then by 5 p.m., the snow will taper off. It'll return again as we head into the evening north of the Thruway corridor and eventually into the Thruway area as we head into the early morning hours Wednesday. So to start in the Utica-Rome area. Eventually, the snow will exit and we'll see some warmer temperatures in the 30s and cloudy skies. In terms of snowfall, there's a very, very narrow corridor of higher snow totals. For now, we're keeping Utica-Rome, central Oneida County in the 3 to 7 inch range, but there's a 7 inch or more range, very narrowly, could be moving eastward. For now, we're keeping it out toward Camden, but stay tuned for updates on the snowfall for tonight and into tomorrow. Following the day today, we're actually seeing some slightly warmer temperatures. We're talking 40s by the first days of spring. It's not a big warm up, but it's somewhere. We're getting somewhere in that seasonal, but we're seeing less and less 20s and teens and slowly seeing that warm up throughout the next few weeks.
I think we just got to get through today and we should be okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
Eric, thanks. We still have 2 teams standing. And
News with Gary Lipitor.
good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. School delays and closures after some overnight snow, but now it seems everything is settling down here in the Mohawk Valley, but more snow is on the way. Meteorologist Eric Gaze is tracking that system for us in the Weather Center. Eric.
Yeah, that's right, Gary. We have some wintry weather returning. We're in that quiet zone right now, so we're in between 2 lake effect bands. Let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery live radar. So, interesting sight here. So, obviously, for one, Lake Ontario is just pummeling the North Country or the Tug Hill Plateau with snow right now. We're also seeing some Lake Erie snow. This is an interesting sight because Lake Erie was frozen over. We actually had the ability for Erie to thaw out a little bit just in time for more lake effect snow to make its return. So I think somewhere, somehow, we are in the brunt of someone's joke right now when it comes to the lake effect somehow surviving and making a return again despite Erie being frozen over earlier in the season. But nonetheless, we're closely watching this band right here because this is expected to sweep its way south as we head into the evening hours tonight and especially overnight into tomorrow morning. That's going to cause some impacts travel-wise for your morning commute tomorrow. Despite that snow staying to our north for now, it is a blustery day out there today, no doubt about it. We're seeing wind speeds between 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that's sustained winds. Wind gusts are approaching 40-plus miles an hour. It is a blustery St. Patrick's Day outside today, and that is causing those wind chills to still cling into these single digits. It's pretty much Arctic all statewide, with the exception of Poughkeepsie down there, sheltered by the wind at 27 degrees. Now, on paper, we will be in the 20s, into the teens tonight, and that snow returns passing through the Mohawk Valley. We'll be tracking that snow band. We'll talk about the amount of snow we could see, when it ends, and what to expect later in the week straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Many were surprised to find snow again here in the Mohawk Valley as we are now just days away from spring. But not so surprised as this winter has really been the longest, snowiest, coldest winter we have seen here in the Mohawk Valley in quite a while.
Yeah, I thought it was over. I can't wait for the summer to come. It's cold, it's a lot of work, and I'm ready for the heat.
Again, as Eric mentioned, we are expected to get another round of snow overnight tonight. But to our north, as Eric mentioned as well, the North Country getting hit hard as we speak. They received 5 to 7 inches of fresh snow, and that caused some issues on the roadways. All lanes of Interstate 81 are closed in the town of Watertown after a multi-vehicle crash. Video here shows traffic diverted off of I-81. Police say the crash involves more than a dozen vehicles, including several tractor trailers. All traffic is moving into the city of Watertown on U.S. Route 11. Officials have not said if anyone was hurt or how long the highway will be closed. Motorists should expect delays up there in the North Country. And yesterday's powerful storms left a trail of damage across parts of eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Large trees were toppled by the storms, including one in Pennsylvania that crushed a car on the street right there. No injuries were reported. However, falling trees did pull down power lines in many areas. And across the border in New Jersey, more large trees were on the ground. A very dangerous situation was spotted in Deptford, New Jersey. That's where a fire sparked by a downed power line that was still hot. A perfect example why officials always say to avoid downed power lines and treat them all as if they are carrying live electrical charges. As of this morning, collectively across the region, around 60,000 customers were without power following last night's storms. While rescuers continue to recover bodies today from the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon on this St. Patrick's Day. Now, last night we saw a cold front, we saw a flash freeze, and a snow squall this morning. Now, since that has passed, we've got more isolated snow bands, and I want to focus more on what's going on first here locally, and then, of course, the elephant in the room, that massive snow band to the north. So, in the Mohawk Valley, we have some very narrow bands of blowing snow. These aren't amounting to much in terms of accumulation, but this will cause areas of reduced visibility. Same thing heading in the Route 20 corridor. And it'll show the band from Lake Erie south in a second. First, though, here's that heavy band of lake effect snow slamming I-81 in the Tug Hill Plateau. It is currently hitting Lowville right now before it eventually will shift its way south this evening. The secondary Lake Erie band right here passing between Greene and Oxford and in between Sydney and Oneonta here. So it's a very narrow corridor of snowfall here in the southern valleys. So, today, what we're seeing here is this strong wind from the passage of this cold front. And in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you guys just how massive this front is and why this has been making headlines. It's why it's produced a whole lot of severe weather, especially south of us. Thankfully, we were in the clear due to a lack of instability. That was the one factor I mentioned yesterday we'd be focused on, and sure enough, we seriously lacked it. Either way, we're going to see that lake effect snow band from the north push south into the Mohawk Valley tonight. This could cause some travel issues for your morning commute tomorrow. Here's a time frame of it. By noontime, it's still to our north. This model here is a little bit earlier than we're anticipating in regards to timing. So see here, that snow band is now pushing its way south. It's weaker, multi-band influence initially. And if it organizes into a steady, consistent band, this is where we could be seeing some decent snowfall accumulating overnight tonight between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. tomorrow. Needless to say, if you are in this, pretty much anywhere in Oneida County, in the Rome area and west, just be prepared because this snow band might shift north or south. You might get hit by the brunt of it, you might not. That's the joys of lake effect. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time how this is going to be panning out. Then it's going to shift its way south and then weaken. Eventually, we get more of a south wind moving in, and we're going to see cloudy skies and drier weather later on in the day, Wednesday. So when it comes to impact timing, tonight, tomorrow morning, that's the time frame of the highest impact. By tomorrow evening, your evening commute should be okay. Now, when it comes to snowfall totals, you see here, I kind of shifted this zone south, confidence level right here in a medium. Again, we have an idea of the amounts. It's just the exact location, which always is going to be up in the air for systems like this. But the farther out you go from Lake Ontario, obviously, the lesser amount of snow you will see. Now, following today's Arctic blast, it's not going to last too long. We're still on the colder side, but we're going to approach much closer to average March temperatures just in time for springtime. We're going to see a mix of rain and snow on Thursday into early Friday, and highs in the 40s, Gary. So.
Yeah. Could be worse.
It could be worse.
Eric, thanks. Now to that so-called March megastorm along the East Coast. Severe weather cutting across a large swath of the country. Millions of Americans under threats of tornadoes, blizzards, and thunderstorms, and record heat. NBC's Angie Lassman has more.
A historic March blizzard pummeling parts of the Midwest. The monster storm burying Michigan.
I think it's time to go home.
And Wisconsin in record snowfall.
Probably one of the crazier snowstorms we've ever seen.
Green Bay clocking more than 26 inches, their biggest snowstorm in 138 years. But the whipping winter wind fanning a massive warehouse fire. Emergency crews struggling to contain the blaze with equipment freezing in the low temperatures. On the East Coast, a dangerous line of storms barreling up and down the I-95 corridor. Florida hit with heavy downpours and strong winds. Torrential rain pounding parts of Pennsylvania.
It's going to come up over the sidewalk shortly.
Damaging winds causing chaos in the Carolinas. A tornado ripping the roof off this North Carolina warehouse. And 50-mile-an-hour winds tearing the metal roof off of a small business in South Carolina.
It was scary. It sounded like a train.
Overnight, heavy rain and winds across New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Some parts cold enough for snow. The wild weather pushing south. In Alabama, a rare March snow dusting parts of the state. And the winds were so strong in Texas, they sent this child flying. Fortunately, he's okay. While much of the country deals with storms and snow, the West is sweltering. A rare March heat wave pushing temperatures up to 30 degrees above average.
We have a pool and AC, so we survive.
NBC's Angie Lassman reporting. Coming up, a look at how one police department's canine. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, these bands, I mean, they're all over the place, aren't they? All over the Great Lakes.
Oh yeah, a powerful cold front. You have the recipe for some warmer Great Lakes after some warmer temperatures recently. And look at this right here. This is the snapshot of the Northeast. And just look at all that snowfall activity. And I want to zoom out even more because if you're wondering, well, yes, people were mentioning this is a cold front, or at least a system to remember for St. Patrick's Day, or at least St. Patrick's Day Eve yesterday. How strong is this front? Well, I'm zooming out a little bit. When I was coming in this morning, I was determining, how far south does this front go? And I'm going. It's in Florida. It's still going south. It's in southern Mexico, hitting Guatemala. So sections of Central America are seeing the same front right now that brought us that flash freeze last night and is still bringing that snowfall to Canada. That's insane. This is not a common thing to see a front this large here across the North America. So when it comes to interesting meteorological phenomena, this is definitely one to remember here. We look at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. We have a few disorganized snow bands. They're not amounting to much, but there's enough to produce at least a few areas of reduced visibility early today. This snow to our north, this is the one we're closely watching. It's going to slowly shift its way south. It's currently hitting Richland, now off the shores of Oswego, off of Lake Ontario, and eventually pushing its way into the Mohawk Valley this evening and tonight. Mainly after sunset is that time frame here. But it's blustery. It is a cold, blustery St. Patrick's Day today. We're seeing temperatures in the single digits. Wind chills, I should say, in the single digits. Temperatures on paper a little warmer, but regardless, they're cooling down again tonight. We're going to track the arrival of that snow, that lake effect snow pushing into the Mohawk Valley that could cause some travel impacts tomorrow morning. We'll be tracking that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The New Hartford Police Department is taking...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon on this St. Patrick's Day. It doesn't quite feel like a mid-March day out there. We're tracking what would feel like a late January, early February-like afternoon. Lake effect snow, blustery winds, wind chills near 0 degrees, and here we are. about a few more days away from spring. Either way, we have a few very narrow bands of snowfall we're tracking right now, not producing a whole lot of accumulation, but might cause reduced visibility. Same thing as we head to the north. However, this band is a whole lot more intense and it's shifting its way south. The time frame of this arriving will be as we head closer to the evening hours around sunset into the northern Oneida County area and eventually into the Thruway corridor later tonight. I'll show more on that here in a minute. And then to the south, we have a very narrow band now passing through Greene, in between Greene and Oxford, and between Oneonta and Sydney. So we have a few narrow bands. Lake Erie obviously a lot weaker, as still plenty of that Great Lake is still frozen over. But we did have some of it thawing enough to produce this. So the bigger picture shows this cold front to our east and that strong westerly wind carrying that cold air over the Great Lakes. Now keep in mind, this is one of those things that indicates to us, if you were to tell us not what month it is, that it's March. We have this Arctic air rolling through, but it recedes so quickly. And that's one of the pluses when we get to this time of year, is that despite this cold air, it's not going to last that long. That lake effect band weakens, and we have more of a southwest wind, I should say, arriving tomorrow. It's going to bring temperatures up to right around the 30s, so it's not a big warm up, but at least compared to today, it definitely is noticeable. Now, we do have some more snow chances later in the week. We'll be talking a bit more about that once we get through this. But either way, a look at the SkyCast today. Here's that snow band around noontime. This model here is a little bit earlier than what we're thinking. But either way, it shifts its way north of the Thruway by around 4, 5, 6 p.m. It's weaker. It's not as strong initially, but it strengthens along the Thruway corridor overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So just watch out for some tricky travel getting to where you need to go tomorrow morning, especially in this zone right here. And I'm showing a map regarding snowfall totals, and I did shift this south a little bit within the last hour or so. But I do want to emphasize, with this type of system, if you live in the Utica-Rome area and west, you could be in that band of heavy snow. That's just how variable lake effect is. And just be prepared for that possibility. By tomorrow morning, or at the very earliest tonight, you have a very good idea of where you are in that band. So that's why we have that confidence level a bit lower. We know the amount of snow we'll be seeing, but just the exact location will be slightly variable. As I mentioned, this cold air is not going to last long. We're going to have some warm-ups here and there, and it's not a big one, but we're back to average on Friday. Things dry up after some rain and some snow. We're in the 40s, so that's seasonable this time of year. So finally, we're getting more closer to average, and hopefully we get more and more closer to spring-like weather.
Yeah, let's get through today. It's going to be, Watertown's getting hit hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Team USA
News with Kristen Copeland.
Thanks for joining us. Lake effect snow is moving back in tonight, bringing several inches of accumulation to some of us. I want to show you the headaches that this system caused in Watertown today. This is from WWNY of I-81. 5 to 7 inches of snow causing issues on the roadway, including a multi-vehicle crash. Look at that. State police say whiteout conditions caused it. Several tractor trailers and a dozen vehicles involved. 4 people suffered minor injuries. The crash was just before 9 a.m. This is the same band that is moving in our direction. I want to get you caught up on the latest with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, who is tracking it.
Yeah, that band will be arriving here later this evening, Kristen. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And this band has been generally north most of the day, but there's a change in the wind direction. You can actually see how the band is orientated. Still looking west to east in northern Oneida County, but you go up towards Oswego, the band kind of curls in more of a northerly direction. That means the winds are changing. What this means is this band will be dropping southward as we head into this evening as well as tonight. We're thinking the general 3 to 7 inches of accumulation in some of the steadier bands. Not a lot, but again, as you saw in that video, it doesn't take a lot of snow to cause problems. And the other issue is there's going to be some wind and there'll be poor visibility while this band settles in. Again, moving into the Mohawk Valley later this evening, thinking about 7 to 8 o'clock when that drops southward. Current temperature 25 degrees. Again, it's just been a cold day. We've been seeing some on and off snow showers from Lake Erie. Again, lake effect snow drops in tonight. This is only around overnight. Tomorrow looking like a very different day. And we do have a little bit of a warm up ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Chris, back to you.
A Utica driver was stopped on the thruway and allegedly found with 180,000 untaxed cigarettes. Take a look.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track lake effect snow that's expected to drop south this evening. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. The bands have not made it here, at least the band from Ontario. We've been seeing some snow showers from Lake Erie throughout the day. It's been very, very light. But that is going to change as we head into this evening. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And again, the bands of snow currently are across northern Oneida County. There is signs of a wind shift. So this is going to carry the bands slowly to the south. I'm looking at the radar images, and the position of the band is slightly north compared to where the models had this yesterday. So I think that is pretty significant. I think this band may end up setting up either near or just north of Utica heading into this evening, and then drop south heading into tonight. Again, we've got shifting winds as we look to the west, so it always makes it challenging with lake effect snow. But the bottom line is, do expect that band of snow to be in central New York, especially in and around the Mohawk Valley this evening and tonight before it comes to an end. And it does come to an abrupt end tomorrow. The cold air starts to retreat, the winds become lighter. And this is not something that's going to be lingering around. At least the steadier, heavier snow should be pretty much done before the morning commute. We're looking at dry conditions Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. We do get a break from the wind as we head into tonight. It becomes lighter, which is some good news. It's been a very windy afternoon. We've seen wind gusts close to 40 miles an hour. Temperatures have been very cold as well. We're looking at temperatures only in the low to mid-20s. Westernville 24, Deansboro 22. Hamilton 25, Cooperstown 24, Morris 27. Tomorrow, less wind, temperatures slightly warmer, still colder than average for this time of the year, but not quite as cold as today. Again, we're tracking lake effect snow showers as cold air continues to work in from the northwest. And the general idea is where that band sets up, it produces a quick 3 to 7 inches of snow as we head into late this evening and early tonight for a good portion of Oneida County, especially from Utica and points west. Again, I did make a slight adjustment to the north here, a very small one compared to earlier today, just based on the radar and the current trends. 7 inches or more of snow is possible in the western part of Oneida County, closer to Sylvan Beach and Camden. And again, most of this snow is done by tomorrow morning. Again, that band of snow hanging around the Mohawk Valley this evening, and then winds should kick it to the south, and this comes to an end tonight. Tomorrow, it looks like a generally cloudy day, a couple of breaks of sunshine from time to time. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. Tomorrow night, the weather remains dry. A few snow showers and rain showers on Thursday. Temperatures start to warm up with highs near 40. Lake effect snow tonight, a low of 11. Tomorrow, snow comes to an end. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies and a high of 30. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're into the low 40s Thursday and Friday. We stay in the 40s over the weekend. We're not seeing any big snow accumulation here. Should see a little bit of sunshine as well, especially Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s.
Sunshine makes all the difference.
It really does.
Bill, thank you. Millions of Americans under even record heat. Angie Lastman reports on the severe weather.
A historic March blizzard pummeling parts of the Midwest. The monster storm burying Michigan.
I think it's time to go home.
And Wisconsin in record snowfall.
Probably one of the crazier snowstorms we've ever seen.
Green Bay clocking more than 26 inches, their biggest snowstorm in 138 years. But the whipping winter wind fanning a massive warehouse fire. Emergency crews struggling to contain the blaze with equipment freezing in the low temperatures. On the East Coast, a dangerous line of storms barreling up and down the I-95 corridor. Florida hit with heavy downpours and strong winds. Torrential rain pounding parts of Pennsylvania.
It's going to come up over the sidewalk shortly.
Damaging winds causing chaos in the Carolinas. A tornado ripping the roof off this North Carolina warehouse. And 50-mile-an-hour winds tearing the metal roof off of a small business in South Carolina.
It was scary. It sounded like a train.
Overnight, heavy rain and winds across New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Some parts cold enough for snow. The wild weather pushing south. In Alabama, a rare March snow dusting parts of the state. And the winds were so strong in Texas, they sent this child flying. Fortunately, he's okay. While much of the country deals with storms and snow, the West is sweltering. A rare March heat wave pushing temperatures up to 30 degrees above average.
We have a pool and AC, so we survive.
The Utica Comets and Utica Rome Speedway collect. Snow warning is in effect until tomorrow morning. And, you know, I knew we would wake up to it today, but it was still enough for me to say, you have got to be kidding me. And I know I was not alone on this. After you were done cleaning up at your house, you likely saw similar scenes on your way to work or school. We stopped and we spoke with a few of our neighbors who hope, as we approach the first day of spring on Friday, that this is the beginning of the end of using the shovel and the snow brush.
Yeah, I thought it was over. I can't wait for the summer to come. It's cold, it's a lot of work, and I'm ready for the heat.
Harold, I could not agree more. I'm not a heat complainer. I know there are a lot of people who are heat complainers. That is not me. But Bill, talk to us about what we can expect, you know, heading into tomorrow morning. Are we going to see it again?
You're going to need your snow brush. I don't know about the snow shovel. You might be able to get away with just leaving it around because we are going to be above freezing over the next couple of days. So as long as you can get out of your driveway, just let it melt. But yeah, you will definitely need the snow brush. We are tracking lake effect snow, and again, the current radar has this band across northern Oneida County. It's taking longer for this to drop south. That is one thing that I've been noticing compared to the forecast data. This has been a slow delay here. What that means is it will eventually move into the Mohawk Valley, but I think it's going to be in and just north of Utica where that band will be setting up for most of this evening and into early tonight. We can see the change in the radar here. The winds are coming into the northwest to the west. That means this band is going to be dropping south over the next couple of hours. And again, based on the current trajectory here, that's going to take it right into Utica or just north of Utica as we head into about the next 2 to 3 hours. And I think that's where it stays for most of this evening and tonight. This produces about 3 to 7 inches of accumulation. Again, 3 inches on the eastern end, closer to 7 inches to the west. Again, you got to think of this as kind of a gradient here. The closer you get to the lake, the more snow you get. Very common for lake effect snow. And again, heading to the south, the Route 20 corridor south, you're out of this for the most part. Just a couple of flurries from time to time. And then also to the north, you had your chance for snow earlier today. Things will be winding down as we head into this evening. And again, lake effect snow comes to an end tonight. We're tracking a little bit of a warm-up. Look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. The history of St. Patrick's Day in Utica. Let's get you back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
We are tracking lake effect snow that continues to work in from the north here this evening. These bands will be moving into the Mohawk Valley over the next couple of hours, and this is where they'll stay here for the majority of this evening and early tonight. It's not going to be a long duration lake effect snowfall, but over the next several hours, especially closer to and after sunset, it'll be enough to make things slippery on the roadways. By the way, we've had a dramatic drop in temperature, of course, if this graphic were to work here. We go from 63 to what it felt like 5 degrees this morning between what we had yesterday evening compared to this morning. A dramatic drop in temperature. That's actually a bigger drop than what we saw last week. And we will be seeing temperatures warm up, not quite as warm as what we saw yesterday, but we will be back into the 40s as we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So anything that does accumulate in terms of snowfall this evening, tonight, it's going to be melting over the next couple of days as we do climb above freezing. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, it's a cold one for a walk. Make it a short one. Temperatures will be in the 20s. Tonight's featured dog is Remy from Marcy, decked out for St. Patrick's Day. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. On this St. Patrick's Day, we invite you to...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We're keeping an eye on the radar this evening as lake effect snow continues to work in from the north. This is a live look at Oneonta where there's been some breaks of sunshine today, and actually we've seen Decent amount of sunshine across parts of the Mohawk Valley and southern valleys. It's been intermittent. The steadier cloud cover and snowfall has been taking place to the north throughout today. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And so far, based on the current wind and the current radar, how things are unfolding, this band of snow has been more north than expected. And I think that is going to be pretty significant with the forecast heading into tonight. I think this band is going to be near or just north of Utica as opposed to in or south of Utica this evening and tonight. And again, you can see those bands are starting to work in across northern Oneida County. There's a noticeable wind shift to the west, so I do think this band is going to slowly drop south. But it is going to be a process heading into this evening and tonight. And there's plenty of lake effect snow showers. One thing that we've been noticing, for those of you that have been noticing the snow in and south of the Mohawk Valley today, that's been coming off of Lake Erie. So even though Lake Erie was frozen, it's not completely frozen. It's actually been thawing out here over the past couple of weeks as temperatures have been warming up. And again, those snow showers will continue into tonight. The highest impact will be overnight. By tomorrow morning, the majority of this lake effect snow will be over, and we're looking at generally dry conditions into the afternoon. Boy, that wind was something today. It's going to stay windy through this evening, but the winds will be diminishing heading into tonight. Again, a very cold day across central New York. Not quite as cold tomorrow. Temperatures will climb into the upper 20s. There will be less wind and therefore less of a wind chill. Temperatures this evening from our sky watchers: Barneveld 21 degrees, Bob and Clinton 25, Helen and Cassville 23, Old Forge 14, Jeff and Mohawk 25, across Southern Valley, Skenevis 28, Worcester with 28 degrees. Again, tracking lake effect snow tonight. The air is cold enough to generate this lake effect snow, but it's not going to stay cold for long. The snow will be coming to an end as we head into tonight. And again, a general 3 to 7 inches of the most persistent bands of snow, again, in and just north of Utica. This does include Rome and central and parts of northern Oneida County. The western part of Oneida County, more likely to see 7 inches or more of snowfall. And again, some of the snow does work into the Mohawk Valley, a general 1 to 3 inches of accumulation expected. That band of snow hovering around or just north of the Mohawk Valley tonight. It comes to an end Wednesday, looking at generally dry weather. It's cloudy. Temperatures will be in the low 30s. Rain and snow showers will return on Thursday as a push of warmer weather arrives. Lake effect snow tonight down to 11. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 30. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're into the low 40s Thursday and Friday. Rain showers, a few snow showers expected. Generally, temperatures above freezing over the weekend. 45 Saturday, 43 Sunday. Sunshine early next week. We'll be right back.
With Kristen Copeland.
A lake effect snow warning is in place until tomorrow morning, but not before waking up this morning to a flash freeze and snow on the ground. As much as you may say you love winter, this latest blast may have you thinking enough is enough. We're ready for spring. Lots of digging out today and likely tomorrow too. First day of spring is Friday. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis is tracking from the Weather Center.
Yeah, we are tracking some lake effect snow. I do have an update here. This band has been lingering to the north, and I think that it's going to stay generally north of Utica, or very close to or north of Utica tonight. It will be dropping south, but again, just looking at some of the latest radar images and how this is playing out, I think the bulk of this will be across central Oneida County, thinking about 3 to 7 inches of accumulation from this lake effect snow. It's going to be enough to make things slippery on the roads here heading into this evening and tonight. The western part of the county, 7 inches or more of snowfall, and could be an inch or two across the Mohawk Valley. This is not going to last very long. In fact, this is going to be over in general before the morning commute, and then we'll get a chance to dry out for tomorrow. 24 degrees, the current temperature. It's been a cold, windy day. Temperatures will be in the 20s this evening. Again, that band of lake effect snow will be dropping south throughout this evening and tonight. And again, it does produce a couple of inches of accumulation for most areas. We are tracking a bit of a warm-up, though. We'll look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
A Utica driver was stopped on the thruway and
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track lake effect snow showers rolling across central New York today. The bulk of the snow, at least the heavier snow, has been north of the Mohawk Valley. We've been occasionally getting snow showers from Lake Erie today and then south of the Mohawk Valley. This is a live look at downtown Utica. A little bit of sunshine for now. We are tracking a band of snow working in from the north. Winds are expected to turn into the northwest. This band of snow is expected to drop south into this evening. So far, there's been kind of a northerly trend here. It's taking longer for this band to situate itself, dropping south tonight. So it's looking more and more likely that Utica and points north will be more likely to get some accumulating snow out of this. But I don't want to be super specific here. Just want to let you know that expect a lot of varying weather conditions with lake effect. This band is expected to be very, very narrow. So if you're driving this evening, you might run into this across the Mohawk Valley and points north, and there could be some poor visibility from time to time, especially as we head past sunset. Again, just a pretty active pattern here this evening with that wind coming off of Lake Ontario. This is going to continue to produce lake effect snow showers tonight. Again, this has the highest impact on overnight travel. By Wednesday morning, we're looking at just a couple of flurries. I think the bulk of this snow will be over for the morning commute. We're looking at dry conditions Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. The winds will be diminishing as we head into tonight. It's been a very windy stretch of weather lately. We'll get a small break from the wind here, a small break as we head into tonight. Little Falls, 25 degrees, Westmoreland, 25. Again, temperatures will be climbing into the upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow. Our sky watchers checking in, temperatures in the 20s. Micah New Hartford, 27 degrees, Barneveld, 21. Old Forge, 14. Skinny Vista with 28. Bigger picture shows cold air moving over the relatively warm waters of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, producing lake effect snow tonight. Again, the bulk of this snow looks to be in and around the Mohawk Valley and just to the north. Thinking a general 3 to 7 inches of snowfall from Rome and Utica. And again, as you go west, there's a higher likelihood for the higher end here. Closer to 7 inches or more of snowfall out towards Camden, but then Little Falls, just an inch or two of accumulation. The bulk of this looks to stay north of the Route 20 corridor. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, again, that band of snow is expected to drop south tonight. Temperatures will drop into the teens overnight, and generally cloudy day tomorrow and dry conditions with temperatures close to 30 degrees. Lake effect snow tonight, low of 11. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, a high of 30. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We are above freezing for the rest of the week. We're in the 40s. Rain and snow showers Thursday, rain showers Friday, dry Saturday. Rain showers return Sunday. A little bit more sunshine heading into early next week.
All right, Bill, thank you. Still ahead here on News Channel 2 at 6.
The Weather Center. That band's not dropping just yet, is it?
No, and that's been one of the biggest changes tonight. The forecast not panning out on that regard. It's snowing. It just looks like the North Country is getting hit a lot harder. And that means the snow is falling across the North Country. It's not falling in the Mohawk Valley, at least not yet, which means more snow for the North Country, less for the Mohawk Valley. The winds are shifting. This band is slowly dropping south, but it's just taken a lot longer for this to happen tonight. So therefore, we had to make some pretty significant adjustments to the snowfall forecast. We do expect some snow here in the Mohawk Valley, but a lot less, again, just because it's taken so long for this band to move. Of course, it's a different story across the North Country. Several inches of snow already on the ground. Areas like Remsen, Ava, Point Rock, these places getting hit hard tonight. Current temperature 21 degrees, no snow yet at Griffiths and Rome. And again, heading into this evening and tonight, we're going to be tracking lake effect snow. This does come to an end just in time for the morning commute. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Just back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, one of the former corrections officers accused in the beating death of inmate
is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. Things have been pretty quiet tonight, at least here. It's been a very different story across the North Country. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The snow has been coming down hard across the North Country. This is where the primary band of heavy lake effect snow has been falling all evening long. Several inches of snow has been reported. 5 inches in Remsen, Star Hills, 6 inches. Again, it's been coming down pretty heavy in these areas, and travel has been very, very tough. 5 inches just north of Rome along the Boonville Gorge. Again, that band has been situated here for most of the evening, and that's been unexpected. We thought this band would be dropping south. It looks like it's finally doing that tonight. Look at the last couple of images here. It looks like that band is finally taking that pivot to the south, but because it's taken so long to make this shift, the numbers have gone down in terms of snowfall in the Mohawk Valley. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. Travel impacts remain pretty high tonight with lake effect snow. This winds down pretty early. A lot of this snow is done by 4 a.m. So this is pretty much done for the morning commute. Could be a few lingering flurries, but I'm not expecting any big travel issues. We are looking at dry weather heading into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. The winds have been very blustery today, but they have backed off tonight. The winds will be a lot lighter here heading into tomorrow. It's been all about lake effect snow today. Again, the heaviest snow has fallen across the North Country for most of the day and for most of the evening so far. This core of cold air is shifting east. You can see that the lake effect snow is starting to dwindle down, and that'll be the case here heading into tonight. I did make an update to the snowfall map here. This is looks different than what we've been showing earlier. And again, it's because the band of snow has been falling heaviest north, and it's taken a lot longer to drop south. And because of that, we've lowered the amounts, specifically in the Mohawk Valley. We were calling for 3 to 7 inches. That's been lowered to 1 to 3 inches. And to be honest, I think it's going to be hard to even just get an inch or two out of this. It is expected to snow, but again, it's going to be a lot less. There's just not going to be as much time for this band to produce snowfall in the Mohawk Valley. Again, this shift takes place south tonight. Snow comes to an end early tomorrow morning, and then it's done. The rest of Wednesday is looking cloudy and pretty quiet. Temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. A warm front will be arriving tomorrow night into Thursday, producing some rain and snow showers. Lake effect snow tonight, a low of 11. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 30. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain, snow showers Thursday, 40. 43 on Friday, the first day of spring. Temperatures will be in the 40s over the weekend. Rain returns Sunday. Sunshine. And colder Monday, high 36. We're into the mid-40s by Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll get to those stories in a moment. First, lake effect snow hitting parts of our viewing area tonight. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. He's tracking it all from the Weather Center. That band moving a little bit closer south?
Yeah, it's just taken all evening long for this to drop south. So this is not going to produce the heavy accumulation we thought it might in the Mohawk Valley. It just hasn't gotten here yet. It is slowly pushing south. There just isn't going to be enough time for this to produce heavy accumulation in the Mohawk Valley. Where it's been a different story, though, across the North Country, 5 inches in Remsen, 6 inches Star Hill, Boonville Gorge, 5 inches. There's been very slippery conditions in parts of northern Oneida County tonight. Again, this band will slowly drop southward. We made adjustments here based on this slow transition of moving this band south. And again, it means a lot less snowfall for the Mohawk Valley. Utica now only in 1 to 3 inches. We had this spot in 3 to 7 inches before we've noticed this trend. And again, this is the snowfall expected tonight. Current temperature 21 degrees, some light snow finally falling at Griffith and Rome. Temperatures will be in the teens tonight. This lake effect snow comes to an end before the morning commute. Got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, one of the former corrections officers accused in the beating death of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. The snow still hasn't arrived here yet. It's been delayed. The snow has been falling across the North Country, and that has been unexpected. It's been a forecast flop here. That snow band has been producing the heaviest accumulation across the North Country, and there's been several inches of snow, almost 7 inches in Remsen, 5 inches just north of Rome along the Boonville Gorge, and even in Lee over the past 2 hours, picking up about 2 to 3 inches of snowfall. This band is weakening and pushing south, and this is not going to produce much snowfall for the Mohawk Valley. The winds have shifted, and again, there really isn't a lot going on here. These bands will set up into Madison County tonight. There will be some accumulation, But again, I think for the most part, we're only talking about a couple of inches in most areas. So this, again, just not playing out as originally anticipated. Lake effect snow showers continue tonight. They come to an end before the morning commute. So the good news is that I don't think this is going to be a big problem at all for your morning drive. In fact, very few of us will really have to be doing any sort of digging out. We're looking at generally dry weather here heading into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. The winds have been gusty throughout the day. The winds have diminished this evening. We're not going to be dealing with much wind over the next 24 hours. We do get a break from that. It's been a very windy stretch of weather here in central New York. Again, the bigger picture showing lake effect snow, again, diminishing tonight. The cold weather heading to the east, and that means we don't get much more additional snow overnight. Again, for most of us, it's just an inch or two of accumulation. Again, the biggest change has been right here in the Mohawk Valley. This was in the 3 to 7 inch zone, now down to 1 to 3 inches. And to be honest, I would be surprised if we can even just get close to an inch here, just based on the way things are going tonight. Again, really not expecting a whole lot of impact here overnight. Lake effect snow dwindling down here into tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the teens. Tomorrow, the clouds remain stubborn. Temperatures will climb into the upper 20s to low 30s, but we are looking at dry weather. Tomorrow night, the clouds again linger around. We do expect to see some rain and snow showers here heading into Thursday. There will be a push of some warmer weather with high temperatures close to 40 degrees. Lake effect snow tonight, low of 11 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 30. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Temperatures in the low 40s heading into the end of the week. Rain showers mixed with snow showers Thursday. Spring, Friday, 43. Temperatures in the mid-40s over the weekend. Rain showers Sunday, some colder weather, but sunshine heading into Monday.
Better than 20s, that's all I got to say.
We're slowly warming up.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, could the